Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing another speed build, and today's video is actually a renovation of an existing lot in Brindleton Bay. It's, I believe, the starter home, and I just wanted to renovate it because this house actually looked pretty nice originally, but I figured it was like way too big for like a starter house, and there was like a lot of empty space. So I just wanted to renovate it and see how much I can improve it. I also wanted to keep a lot of the existing furniture, or at least try to, because I like the idea of having a lot of the original stuff like you would do in real life. And this house I think is like exactly 20,000 simoleons, and it's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, which I think is pretty good for a starter home, though the second bathroom is like a toddler bedroom, which is pretty small. But overall, I'm pretty happy with that house. I kind of struggled with it because it was like a big box, and it was pretty difficult to work out the floor plan on the bottom floor, but I think I figured out an okay one in the end. It might be like a little bit weird, but it works. I also wanted to do a lot more with this build. Like I had like original ideas, like I wanted to do a breakfast nook and stuff like that, but I couldn't really do all the stuff I wanted to because of the money restriction. So I just ended up trying to do as much as I could with 20,000 simoleons, and I guess I got there in the end because it was like pretty exact. And yeah, this build didn't take me too long, but it actually took longer than I expected it to, because I didn't know how to properly renovate something without totally changing it, and without wanting to make it too similar to what it had already looked like. I just just changed the floor plan. I made it like way smaller to actually feel like there was more furniture, because in the original it was like a weird layout. So I just wanted to make it feel a little bit smoother and to make it smaller, so like the furniture in it would feel like there wasn't too little, if that makes sense. But yeah, I like how it looked in the end. It was just sad when I had to take a lot of stuff out and cut back a lot because it was just too big and too expensive. I had originally like this one size of the house. Like I think at the end it might look too small than originally did, but I needed to save money somehow, and I figured that was the best way. It also sucked because I wanted to use more cats and dogs furniture than I ever have, because I haven't done that in a video yet, but I couldn't because I think they're like slightly more expensive, some of the items. Like I wanted to use cats and dogs windows, but I couldn't because they were more expensive than the cheap base game ones, so I just ended up opting for that instead. And I think I wanted to use like cats and dogs wallpaper, but they were more expensive than like regular wallpaper or like the one in the living room, so I just had to use that instead. And like that with like the fences and everything. I also didn't have time for I didn't have money for landscaping or anything, so I had to use like debug for that. I also used debug for like paintings, which really helped. I also wanted to add like way more plants around than I actually could have, but it was too expensive. I wanted to use this really nice cats and dogs fireplace, but I think I had to end up deleting it later, which is really sad, because this one I think is like I think it's 900 simoleons, which is more expensive than the first choice. I think that was like maybe it's like 200, 300. So I figured if I was gonna save money, that would be a good way. I mean, in hindsight, there were other ways to save money. Like, for example, you don't really need a chimney like that. I made like a really large one, but I wanted to do that because I figured it looked too weird without it. I felt like that side was too flat, so that's why I put a chimney there. I also wanted like the porches, like both the front porch and the back porch, to be larger, but I think I had to make it smaller to save money because it's kind of like almost like using money for no reason because you don't really do much with the porches or anything like that. But it's just sad because I wanted to do that. Also here I had to do like this roof trick because I wanted to make the room smaller so it didn't feel like there was too little furniture in the room, but it would also look weird. The roofing would turn out weird, so I had to like make like a fake roof, like a roof that looked like a room, if that makes sense. I also had to make it smaller because I needed money still. Like I think I was reaching the limit already and I still hadn't like furnished this downstairs bedroom and the upstairs bathroom yet. The downstairs bedroom is like a toddler room for like if your sim ever gets a child. Because I figured this house is more of like a starter for a single sim, but it also works if the sim has like a child or anything like that. Which is pretty good, to be honest. Like usually starter houses are pretty small and this house is like has like an upstairs and everything. But one downside is that it doesn't have like a computer or a TV. And to make up for that, I tried to put like an easel in so you can make money to get that stuff. But yeah, I guess that sucks if you need to like do something on the computer. But I feel like you can just do all that stuff on a phone, so not too bad. And this house, I don't know, I just felt like I liked it, but I just felt sad because I wanted to do so much more with it than I ended up doing because I didn't have money. Like, I had to delete so many items because it was already like 20,000 simoleons, so I had to like find out so many ways to get that money back. But I think it's pretty good for a starter, so there's that. I was just also really happy to be able to use cats and dogs in this build because I have it in my last two builds, I think. And yeah, I just used like debug to landscape because I didn't have money and almost all of that stuff is free except for the rocks, I think. But I liked how it looked because since it was like all like cats and dogs landscaping, it matched like the surroundings, and I thought it was like it's like more, it's like less vibrant and saturated, and it kind of matched that beachy vibe, which I like. I thought it would look nice, the outside. I feel like the outside might look nicer than the inside again, but it's okay. I also use like this debug fencing because I couldn't afford actual fencing for the outside, and it looks nicer than you expect for something that's free. And in the back, I don't know if you could tell, but the porch, I wanted the porch to be like all the way across the back of the house, but I ended up having to make it way smaller because I couldn't afford that, because I figured I need to make money somehow, and I was gonna make the porch bigger and have like a table of chairs on it, but since I couldn't afford that, might as well make it smaller. I just use like stuff from the debug menu, and since you can't actually sit on those, I believe, I just figured I would just make the porch smaller because it's kind of like useless almost. So yeah, I mean, I think it would look better, but no one really looks at the back of the house anyways. I also try to use debug to like clutter the kitchen, clutter the backyard, the toddler bedroom, and things like that. Because I mean, like without it, I think it would look way more bare than it does now. Also, like those, I don't know what they're called. Are they like, they're like vine, ivy. I put like to landscape, and I put like flowers around. I didn't put too much because I figured like it's like a small house, you wouldn't have too much to maintain, and I didn't figure that this would be like a gardener's house or anything, so I didn't put too much. I tried to make it look more natural to what everything else looked like, if that makes sense. And I just put a lot of terrain paint around to make it look more dirty, natural, if that makes sense. And I just try to use a lot of debug items to make it look fuller. Also, this lot is nice, but there's something weird about it. Like, I do not know why it's on like it's like on a diagonal, or like the road next to it is diagonal, so it kind of looks weird to the road, if that makes sense. I don't know if you can see it, but the house is like straight and facing the beach, but the road is like diagonal to it, so I couldn't find a good way to like path it to the road, so I just like left the terrain paint stopping at the front of the house. And here's me like looking around to find cheaper furniture, better ways to save money so I can do other stuff, because I figured I need to buy actual useful stuff that you can like build your skills with. And I think later I ended up changing the wallpaper of the outside of the house, which made stuff cheaper. And with that money, I think I just added more clutter, like rugs and stuff like that. And like you see the porch in the back, it's like super small than what I originally intended for it, but it's okay. I'm just sad because I wanted to add like pet furniture in here too, because it's like cats and dogs, but I couldn't afford any of that. But maybe I'll just do that in another build. And yeah, here's me changing the wallpaper. I figured I would change it because like since the sliding and like the other one was too similar, I think it was like the same wallpaper but just different color. I thought it looked weird, so I changed it to just regular paint. And with that new money, I added rugs. And this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and like this video. All my information will be down below. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the screenshots. Bye bye.